hope everybody can hear me this morning. God bless y'all. Okay, so the first story that I located was um Okay, sorry about that. I had to have the mic adjusted, and I think we're on task right now. So my microphone is slightly low. All right, so I want to start off on a good note. The first story is pertaining to a good Samaritan. Um, Basically, I think a teenager went into the convenience store and was stealing junk food because him and his brother were hungry, and so the clerk, which was the store owner, went and actually fixed him a sandwich and gave him that to eat. So I just wanted to say that was really really nice. But it was on one of these where you have to scroll down to it. So here you go. Here you go. Let's turn it up.
I saw that he was taking. I saw that he was taking something and going to a corner of the store. Coming back, there was nothing in his hands. I rewinded the video and I saw that he's putting something in his pocket. First of all, I was upset, I was angry because if somebody is stealing, I asked him, why are you doing this? He said, I'm hungry. Impact. And but there were so many things going in my mind, and I decided, no, let.
So that story really brings to my heart because growing up, I was one of those kids that was missing a couple of meals here and there, and you could tell unlike that young man, he didn't really look like he was missing any meals. But I heard a slogan before that says it's spooky to be hungry, and it is. But when I was a youngster, I had a similar incident, right? Um, but basically, it happened to where, I pretty much I went in there and asked, and it was like, yeah, we'll give you a sandwich, but you need to get a job and figure out how you're gonna take care of yourself. So, and I was probably like, I don't know, like 8, like young, young. So I was raised to where you had to be able to speak up and talk for yourself. So and talk for yourself. So I mean, I guess that's for some folks who feel like children shouldn't be, you know, doing anything but schoolwork. They actually need to. I actually do believe that they need to speak up for themselves. You need to teach your kids at a very young age. When you go into the store, let them go in there and ask for the change and do all that stuff like you're not there. It wouldn't hurt. Um, Now the another story that I saw was this one. It's a state prison closed, and it says here that it's in Talnall County, but the city is called Reedsville, and it says they shuttering its historic prison. It was constructed in 37, and it said to be the state's main maximum security facility, housing approximately 1,530 inmates. So, and it says the inmates that are currently at this closed facility or in the process of closing will be moved to other facilities all around the state. The other top story. Uh oh. Um, I can't find my story. with, I had these stories. Well, I had the other one about North Korea. Um, so what happened with North Korea is that they sent out a test missile. Apparently, North and South Korea don't have a real good relationship amongst each other, but those missiles can go anywhere. And sorry I can't see the chat. Just I want to thank everybody for showing up and showing your support. Um, Now over here in Augusta, Georgia, it says that the gas prices is continue to climb, and it says that it's Monday it was $3.13 per gallon. Last week it was $3.11, and which is far above $2.24 from a year ago. But all that gas is causing a small problem. What people don't realize about that is all means of transportation causes smog. And the good thing about Earth that God created is that it will heal itself. So a little bit of smog is not going to hurt. But accumulation of accelerated amount of smog is detrimental to the planet, because then it's going to start to make the air that we breathe, the water that we drink and grow our crops, as well as feed our cattle, our livestock, and well as the soil, the ground will all become contaminated. So the argument that I remember hearing as a child was, it's gonna come a time where the air is gonna be, we're not gonna be able to breathe it. We're gonna have to be like astronauts almost, because most people understand that I have more than you have, and I'm vicious, and I can take what you have from you by driving around your house and just trying to drive you crazy. Just drive, drive, and have all my friends just drive, drive, and everybody I can find, we just drive, drive around your house and honk horns and make a lot of noise and bother people and all of this and all of that. That, yeah, you can. Yeah, you can't afford to drive, but you can't afford to breathe the air, drink the water, and eat anything that grows that from the land. And that's a shame. It's very shameful that people are not conscious of, you know, you know, making a sacrifice was supposed to have been a good thing. Like, it shows that you live above materialism. You want, you want to, you well aware that there's other aspects of life than just what you see. And you appreciate life. You know, to appreciate life means to appreciate life. And I'm not for certain why, but there are people who are just, y'all just, need to stop it with all this driving around and stuff. Just because you can do stuff don't mean you should do it. Like, I can get up on top of a roof and jump, but it doesn't mean I'm supposed to do that. So just because you can get in your car and drive and drive and drive around the same block and refill and do it again and again and again, and then pay for several other folks to do the same thing, it's so bad. It's just, you would think, obviously, that these folks can feel the difference, but I think most people's eyes may not be open to the same thing my eyes are, which is fine. But what I think a problem comes in where we clash with the universe, and it's unsettling. As we can see, the universe is unsettling. We got a lot that's going on beside the Corvette, and beside, the for me, what the Corvette means that the air is just getting dirty. I mean, not to say that the Corvette is making the air dirty. Obvious, right? So we got dirty air. We got air that we can't breathe. Now, the good news, well, we can breathe it, but we definitely don't want to be breathing it if someone has the Corvette. Now, I understand that some people think that the Corvette is a big conspiracy thing, but I miss conspiracy. That Corvette is not a conspiracy. It's historical. The pandemic, the Black Death started back in the Middle Ages, and it never officially ended. And when it started, it would start and stop. It would start and stop, and something would make it cook back up again. And it was pretty much the way that people was just living real dirty. Back in the Middle Ages, they didn't take baths. And Nostradamus was the one that really came up with the theory and kind of cured the land by saying, burn on your clothes. He was having them burn their clothes because they was dirty. And I believe he was sensing or whatever, because they did say Nostradamus also had prophecies. Now, was he an official prophet? I It's been a while since I looked in those books or did the research on this. I'm not for certain if he was like what his religion was. I do believe he was like a doctor. When the Black Death happened, he actually was in medical school or something like that. But anyway, I had did that when I had tossed all my clothes, and I'm not able to replenish them. But living a minimalist life, what happens is it helps with stress, because I think as an African American woman, we experience more stress than any other person on planet, any other group of people on planet that have similar characteristics or aesthetics, I guess you could say. Um, and so for the most part, Not accumulating anything makes you less stressful, but I think with us black women, we're dealing with a lot of folks that have mental health, and like I said, they're serving mental health realness, and we do need to talk about it because, as you know, dealing with people with mental health realness too often, especially if you don't want to. And like I said, as the church says, the abusers and violent folks, you got to put them out the church. And as we know, like God allow us in the Old Testament, it said to repeat um, certain situations until we learn how to fight. So we gotta learn how to fight these bullies, and they cause us a lot of stress, and a lot of it's like behind racketeering. It's like if you tell the Girl Scout, that you don't want to buy any cookies, we should definitely not hear from her knocking on the same door a couple of moments later. It's crazy. How, I mean, what do you do? What do you do? And so that's just very stressful. And I'm an advocate for making better laws. Men shouldn't people should not be allowed to spend their time harassing other people. It's just not fair. You should not be getting paid to harass Susie. You know what I'm saying? For example. All right. So another story here we have is that this couple started selling NFTs, which stands for non fungible token. And so when I did my research, this is pretty much like the virtual money or the cryptographics. So, but what they say is like a digital asset that they can use in exchange for other services or goods. Um, so it's like they just created cash almost, right? Isn't that amazing? But this is what they made right here. And they was due to be foreclosed and everything, and they was able to make that money and they said in no time, but they did have to acquire skills to like do the read the digital I'm sorry, read the programming. But it was Mercer and Muscle White, and Vaughn Mercer, she lost her job as a software engineer, and then the bills started, piling up, and you could assume that they would pile up quick with someone that was a software engineer. All right, and then the next story. Now, the CDC, Center for Disease Control, adds five more Caribbean islands to its highest level of travel risk. Um, the U.S. Centers for Disease Control and Prevention moved five Caribbean island destinations to its highest risk travel category for COVID-19 on Monday. So, the 15 are Colombia, Costa Rica, Dominican Republic, Fuji, um, Jamaica, Kuwait, Mongolia, Niger, Peru, Romania, Saint Bartholomew, Saint Martin, Tunisia, United Arab Emirates. So don't want to go there, guys. Now I would assume that they could actually have it to where their island is is put on a risk list, but not actually have a risk. Just don't want to allow tourists there because those all sound like very heavy tourist attraction islands. Now, for those in Aiken, South Carolina, the Department of Health and Environmental Control is distributing 40,000 at-home rapid COVID-19 tests at county health agencies across the state. So, so basically, if you live in the Aiken County, the tests are available for pickup at 222 Brewster Street from 8:30 a.m. to 4:30 p.m. Monday through Friday. Now, supplies are limited, so officials said to call 803-642-1684 to check availability. Alrighty. Now, I thought this was very interesting. This one was about a lady just had a question. She said, "My husband's best friend lives with us. Can I kick him out?" And so she explained that when her and her husband first started dating, she said that his friend asked to move in or whatever, and they thought it was cool because they needed a little help with the bills initially in the beginning of their relationship. But they said they since then they moved from that home into a new one, and her husband got a better job to where he could afford the rent for both of them and blah 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 blah. But she don't want his friend to, keep on living with them. And so what I thought was ironic was the answer. It says right here, it says, while it may be easy to blame his best friend for your current dilemma, I think it rests solely on your husband. When I began reading, I initially thought, okay, let's address communication. Define the issue clearly, ensure he understands what you're asking for, and let him have a conversation with his friend to enact this change. However, it's clear that this is something you've already tried. To me, it sounds like your husband has lost sight of or may not have ever known what it entails to be a partner in a marriage. So I felt like that was a little misguided because there are laws that prohibit you from making people homeless just like out of the blue. So I don't know what state they live in because I could have looked up like the quick little a little bit of information on it. But I think that like I'm not saying it's against the law. I'm just saying there's a process to evict people from your home that's been living with you, and it sounds like for at least a year or something, or some months. So they got mail coming there, and all that kind of stuff. I think I'm pretty certain you need to give someone like a 30-day notice. Hey, we want you out. And I don't really think it works that easy, if that makes sense. So yeah. So that's the only reason why I thought he was a little misguided. Because legally, I mean, you can put someone out your house. I mean, you could, but if they call the police and they could go to court and do all this stuff. You know, but yeah. So I mean, but it's true that yeah, it does sound like he's evidently using some kind of relationship with his friend where he don't mind him around his wife and all this stuff. So, but I thought that was an interesting story. Here's another interesting story. It says, I wasn't aware that you're a person of color. Woman demands refund after finding out business owner is black. So I don't know what this was all about, but it says, in a viral TikTok video, a black business owner shared an email she received from a client demanding a refund after she found out the business owner is black. So I don't know about you, ladies, but this is very stressful because you imagine, you've got your feet on the ground and so on and whatnot. The next thing you know, you get somebody talking about they want a refund, and not because there's something wrong with your product. At least that's not what they're saying, but because of your aesthetics. And so this is something she can't change that. Nobody can change that, and for her to it just seems awkward. But then let's read the this text that the lady put. This is her refund request. She put it in her email to her. Says, can you please cancel my order? Unfortunately, I wasn't aware that you're a person of color, and I just don't like to support small businesses that do not align with my version of support, the client wrote in the email. According to the email, she followed up on her request with racist stereotypes. Before you start and go in on race tyrant, please be aware it's called my preference because we are all aware of how people like to act when things don't go your way, the client wrote. What do you mean by you people? How do you like to act? How do you expect someone to act when it's 2022 and you're still giving this type of energy to business owner? Questions in the video. The client in the email said the owner should make it clear on her site that she is a black woman, despite the site having an about the owner page. She also demanded she receive a refund by the next day and end the email by alluding to Martin Luther King Jr. Day. Now this is in wake of Black History Month is what, in a couple of weeks, the week. I'm sorry, I think I probably heard that. But anyway, I was bright eyed bushy tail and then Bama. But anyway, I don't know what to say about this. I do feel like there are some. I'm like this as well. Would I had said that? If I go to a restaurant, sometimes I could tell that the cook is not a person of color, and I mean African American. When I'm at a restaurant, I don't want to eat something that doesn't, like she said, align with my version of support. In so many words. So, I mean, that's how I'm looking at this. But I definitely want to say that this is very stressful. But to look at both sides of the coin, she does have her preference. And I wonder what other people's opinions are in the matter. I do have a line that I can open up for people to call as my channel builds. So maybe we can have like a rant and rave on topics, because communication, educates the people to communicate. When people want to hinder communication, it's only because for illegal purposes. There's no reason why I don't want you to talk to other people. I mean, definitely don't want. I don't want to hear people. That's just that should be a no brainer that you're not supposed to just be in somebody else's face talking. Especially if they told you, no, leave them alone. No. So some people don't know what no means. So I don't know. I wonder what other people's opinion are. I don't know. I don't know. I don't know what to say because um they said they got over 1,100 views with this. Yeah, I do. I mean, okay, I do want to say this though. Like she said right here, you could have just asked for a refund. You didn't have to put all that jazz on it. In so many words. And that's true too. That's just like when we do see a lot of African American men. I never see any other nationality or demographics of folks that come out and say, I love white women and black women, they're just blah, blah, blah. You don't want, like, come out and be like, white women are better than black women. And it's like, and I say that because I have a white wife. As being a black man, and it's very confusing because it's like, if you really love her, why not just stay on the love? Why are we going to? Because you act like it's just only black women and white women on planet Earth. Don't we have Indian women, Korean, Asian women, Russian women? I don't know. Maybe he assumes or clumps all them into one based off of color. Maybe it's just for him it's color this or so the color the front of his hand, the palm of his hand, or the back of his hand. That's how he looking at women, I guess. But we have different. I believe women people have different personalities. Depending on where what region you from, how you have to live, whatever. So I want to say that this may be this is probably a gaslight situation because, like she said, why you just didn't ask for a refund? Why you got to put all the jazz on it? So, well, this was an interesting story. I like to kind of, but she said she did issue the girl a refund though. When it's all over, it's all over and said all over when it's all over done and said, if I'm getting my expression correctly. um, she remained professional, and she's, you want a refund, here's your refund. But and kudos to this sister. We definitely should support her because I don't know how easy it is to talk about this kind of stuff because we was always told, like, if you don't have anything good to say, don't say anything at all and ignore them people. Go sit down somewhere and don't let them bother you. Don't let them rain on your parade. But in actuality, some people do need to be, um, I'm not gonna say check, and I'm not gonna say put in a place. But she gave a very specific opinion, and I think that she did very well, very good to just put her rebuttal in. So I guess this is the product that she makes. It's a keychain, wallet, and wristlet. Yeah, I wanted to make one of those, but I felt like they was like you don't want to have too much stuff in your hand, like while you're walking. I don't know. All right, so now we getting into the crime part, and so some people who are of the faint heart may want to, you know, sit down and get you some water, a pillow, and a comfortable blanket and just relax because we just want to remember the people who are no longer here and when they're lost so violently. I think it speaks that we're having a gender wars and society doesn't look at it like that. But you got people out here climbing on top of folks and just, just because you give somebody money, it doesn't mean that they're going to do, that they have good characters. And unfortunately, it seems like a lot of bad people have a lot of cash. And I guess grace be to God. All things work out for the good for those that are called according to God's purpose. I believe that all the time. The meek shall inherit the earth. So I don't know what that means to you. That means that for me, it's not my job to tell people what their problems are, and or how to fix it, because especially for free, because I'm a black woman, and as you can see, it's not I guess cool to support us. We need better imaging on supporting black women. I mean, I know some people kind of, as black women, we do better when we just, suck it up, buttercup. That's we go through what we got to go through. And it's not fair to us. It's not easy that the men that supposed to and the women that's supposed to provide and protect for us are the one that prey and are the predators towards us. And it's just not fair that society, some kind of way, always allow the bad people to prosper. Now, just to give you a little bit of a history lesson, a lot of people don't know that during the slavery days, and let me just add this: I know some people think that slavery was a conspiracy, that never happened. Or I just want to say I'm sad and hurt that people think that slavery wasn't real. Um, it does sound like something like that should never, ever, ever, ever happen. But yeah, we're around some very, you know, bad folks. And I don't know, maybe we as people need to think about getting our own incorporated land. But I'm not willing to do it with the men. I'm sorry. And I'm not willing to do it with aggressive women that want to be like a man. I don't need that either. We're not going to do that. Because you're not. You're not a man. You know what I'm saying? I know. I do feel, I'm going to tell you like this. I'm a Christian. I do believe that, I'm a Christian. I, 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 in some instances, I know Christians have a bad name. I guess some people think Christian, they thinking, oh my goodness, here you come with the collection plate, right? You think Christian, you think collection plate. But all you have to do is when you think Christian, you think Jesus. Because that's who we supposed to be, like Jesus. And that's how these pastors, all these big ones with all this money, and some of them got all these movie productions and stuff, whatever. I don't know how much of a image they is it emulate, they mirror from Jesus. I'm gonna give you one example. We all heard that Jesus was betrayed by a kiss from Judas, because Judas went and sold Jesus out. He knew that they was looking for him, and he went and find out how much could he get, and he sold it, and he betrayed them with the kiss. So now, when I read that scripture, I read it as, and don't let's not put this in stone. 'Cause I'm not trying to add no take away from the Bible at all. Y'all have to understand that if somebody comes up to you, a complete stranger, and tells you something about someone else, and now we all go on some kind of smear campaign against this person just off of one other person said, that you curse yourself doing that, because God didn't give us a spirit of fear, but of love, power, and a sound mind. That means that we can't be out here not studying the Bible to show ourselves approved. So all I'm saying to you women, particularly because we gotta take care of the black community, and I just want to tell y'all how it's just seeping through our hands because of the black man. He's out here, he want to climb on everybody, then he's out here, he just finds it easier to hurt women than to help. Why? Capitalism. The normalcy out of beating up on a small guy. And ladies, at this moment, we're the small guy. So there's nothing we did wrong with that. It is what it is. I mean, that's why I said some people look at life through a different lens. It's all materialistic. It's only what they can hold. You might want to do business with that person like as a client because they're gonna come and spend. But you don't want to have that kind of individual in your life that's just motivated by money. I'm not saying that somebody needs to go, in order to be a Christian, you need to go live on Skid Row. Of course not. I've been homeless and I would never want that for anybody. I would never want that. I was actually being stalked and I didn't know what it was, and it was just making me it was subtle enough, and the individual that was stalking me was lying, and I didn't know that they were um really trying to harm me, and they were. And it's very, very sad that we have those stories too often. But so I just needed relief. I said, whoever the freak this is following me, whoever the freak this is harassing my job to get me fired, whoever this is trying to attack me at the marketplace, I mean physically, and whoever this is just trying to pick off my neighbors and my family and my children, I said, let's see how much they want to follow me if I was homeless. And that's when I realized that who my stalker was, because he thought it was just so funny. It looked like it was the best day of his life. I never actually seen his face light up like that when he saw me homeless. And then I saw somebody whoop him really good. I never saw that either. And that's how I put two and two together. all my life that I knew that guy, cause see what he does is, let's say he wants you to tell me that I'm not anything, because that's all he does all day long. What he'll do is he'll come up to you and be like, you know what? I had bought her some food and she just spit it. He'll just make a complete, very convincing, compelling, heartstring lie. Whatever it is, usually very stupid at the same time. To where most people like, okay, okay. And you'll be like, yeah, man, I help you tomorrow. We should go get her. We should go tell her that she's stupid, right? And slap her. And see, most people be like, yeah, man, go ahead. I'll meet up with you. But what he'll do is he'll turn back around and he'll fight you. And we're not talking about screen beam. When I met that dude, I was young. I didn't know any better. So I thought we supposed to be picking that big strong guy so he could protect us. I never had a clue that this dude not only will fight you, he'll double team you with other dudes. And so, once I realized who I was really dealing with, I said, okay, that's why I left him. Because he lured me. I was lured in. You know what I'm saying? I was lured in. I was young, you know. And I didn't know any better. You make your mistakes and you learn from them. And I rather, you know, um, I think the worst thing about the whole situation is that the Nazi thing he does. He does this Nazi thing. That's the reason why I have that stalking song. He does this Nazi thing where he has some kind of electronics and stuff or whatever, what have you. And they're like, it's called eavesdropping devices, where it's like, maybe it's just background noise, from the 80s, like from the TV. You remember like how because the stations used to actually go off at a certain time and you hear just that static. Well, they'll take and install something like that in your house. So you literally just hear, or something even worse, somebody's freaking voice. But then you try to get out, but then when you try to get a camera or a recorder, they cut it off. So you're being monitored. So for me, it doesn't bother me. I don't know if it's because I'm happy go lucky, but that's the only thing that the stalking part don't bother me. It's the Nazi part of the stalking that does. Like the actual, like knowing that okay, somebody is, um, you know, doing this, doing that, all these very dangerous, like putting people's life in dangerous situations. The sad thing is, it's like what I've been going through, where it's like hard to leave the house because he got people ready to attack you. I'm talking about dude, and he has money to do this. It's not like it's like people are getting paid to stalk women, and I don't think that's fair at all. And then you have a lot of these. Another thing we need to realize, women, and this is why we need our own town, is that a lot of these guys are different than us. They get star struck with these like with big names, with athletes and whatnot. A lot of these guys get star struck to where they will throw all logic out the window. You don't think they'll burn you? They will MF and burn you. They will burn you for, you just throw around some big name and that's it. It's like crack. It's like crack with them. And so, I don't know what to say. But if we had our own town, it would be like a utopia to where we could just sit and talk all day, and then um, I can be the mayor, of course, and I can make all the laws. And one of them would be no men, don't bring no. I think they was trying to do that in Africa or somewhere. But they was trying to make towns where there's no men in there because I'm not saying that it can't be no men in there, but it's not like a town for men to be in, if that makes sense. I'm definitely open to trans women and my LGBTQ community, although I'm not really a part of it because I'm asexual, so that just means that I don't want to be in relationship with a man or a woman. But I know that I'm not interested in women, never been with a woman, don't want to be with a woman. Because the reason why I say I don't want to be in a relationship with a woman and asexual means that you don't want to be in a relationship with a man or a woman is because I was told before that if somebody asks you, um, do you date men and you're not dating a man right now, they automatically think that you must be dating a woman or something weird. I don't know how that goes, so I just want to specify that no, I'm not dating a woman nor a man. But some people would say that I'm non-sexual, so but I think I'm asexual because I want to be in a relationship with a guy. I just know that I don't want to be with that guy forever, if that makes sense. That's what I think asexual is, and that's why I would call myself asexual. I think Tim Duncan, if that's his name, the fashion guy, he said he's asexual, but he's gay. I don't think he dates women. I don't know. So, I'm not trying to put anybody's business out there, but see, what my example was is that he knows what his preference is, but he says he's asexual. I don't know if he said he leaving the door open for women, but anyway, this right here. So with this one, these folks looking like they so friendly, right? Right? He got that face. Come on in. Come on in. You know what I'm saying? God welcome. Thank God. Thank God he got that face. Thank God, right? And she's over there, counting the collection plate. And what was going on was they got a call because they said somebody was having a seizure. And when they get there, they discover people in the basement, and many of them had mental and physical disabilities. And so what they was thinking was that they was running illegal, allegedly illegal. Because I'm trying to paraphrase this. Like a nursing home or like a right here unlicensed group home, and they thought also they were trying to have like a old folks home. Now, I have heard this kind of story before where, they be trying to keep people, money and stuff, like, people with disabilities. All right, so the next stories are going to be a little bit more violent. And then we'll finish it out with some of the narcotic stories. So if I'm saying this right, Mopars, is that how you guys say that? Mopars?
Follow. React to 70 comments.
I was trying to see if that's how you say that. For some time we've been, what they're saying here is that a lot of people love these cars right here. And they said, like, those Dodge Challengers and the Chargers, they like them to street race, and they like them to do street takeovers, and they like them to do to steal other rides, and even to kill people in Detroit area. And they were just saying, like, these cars are highly attractive to criminals. So we might want to keep that in mind when we go car shopping. Okay. How's a precious 8-year-old was gunned down on a Chicago street? So Melissa Ortega, a third grader at Chicago's Milano Zapata Academy. And I guess, you know what, I just want to say, like, I've been groomed, and I guess I really don't know how to talk about my stalker, but yes, he comes up with all sorts of reasons why I should be beat up, spit on, or whatever, and lose my job. And he's serious about it. If he comes to you and asks you something like that, you definitely want to call the police, because he's going to fight you. And he picked me up one day and threw me down on the ground and stepped on my chin. And like I said, I've only seen two guys ever put him in his place. And one of them was his stepfather, and the other one was that dude in the store when he thought it was so funny when I was homeless in my car. And I had ended up getting into some a little bit of trouble too. He thought all that was real funny. Um, oh yeah, one other thing. One woman beat his butt too. And I thought I was gonna marry her. That's how I knew. I said, you know what, this ain't gonna work, because he had got in a fight with one of my female friends. I lie to you not. And I was feeling like, okay, this guy must be he must be slow. He's very attractive, like a Denzel Washington. But apparently he's he's slow, because he's very violent. Violence and, like, slow people are like um milk and honey. All right. Unfortunately, an 8-year-old was gunned down. A Melissa Ortega, a third grader, in the Chicago street. Now, it says that she was only in the States for less than 6 months. She came from Mexico, then they migrated to California, then they settled in the Windy City where majority of their family was living. And then she got hit by a stray gang member bullet in the area that they were in. Now, of course, they want to know any kind of information you guys have. Send it to the Chicago Police Department. So we got a violence interrupter shot dead as gun violence dominates Baltimore community. So this is very unfortunate that a man. Hold on, guys.